The last hour. What happens before India's joint ISS mission begins its fiery descent after a year-long intensive training program culminating in 18 days aboard the International Space Station ISS. India's first-ever joint mission to the ISS entered its final leg with the departure of the 4 crew members. The mission involved nearly Rs 550 crore investment from the Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO. The SpaceX Dragon, carrying Axiom Mission 4 crew, including Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, autonomously undocked from the ISS at 4:45 p.m. on Monday, and began its return journey with a series of departure burns. The engines fired multiple times to move it away from the ISS so that the two do not collide. Once it settled into a safe orbit, the crew also changed out of their pressure suits and took time to rest. The spacecraft spent the night circling Earth waiting for the perfect alignment to begin its safe re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. Meanwhile, the ground teams of SpaceX and Axiom Space closely monitored its trajectory, while keeping a watchful eye on the weather conditions off the California coast, where the capsule is expected to splash down. The entire return journey is nearly 22.5 hours long. The last crucial hour, a fiery descent. Once it reaches its designated location in space on Tuesday afternoon, the crew will suit up in their pressure suits again. Around 2:07 p.m., the Dragon Grace will initiate its final deorbit burn to lower its altitude, and begin its descent back to Earth. Shortly thereafter, at around 2:26 p.m. IST, it will detach its trunk, the part carrying solar panels, and other parts which are no longer required. 4 minutes later, it will close its nose cone, which protects the hardware and sensors for re-entry to begin. The Dragon, carrying the 4 crew members and nearly 263 kgs of cargo, including NASA hardware, will then begin its fiery re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere, bolting through the searing temperatures over 1,600 with a speed of nearly 6 km/s or more, with its heat shield protecting the capsule. At around 2:57 p.m., the drag parachutes will be deployed when it's nearly 56 km from the Earth, followed by main parachutes at 2 km, which will bring down its speed dramatically. The SPLASHDOW, and if all goes as per the planned schedule, Dragon Grace will splash down into the Pacific Ocean off the California coast precisely by 3:01 p.m. The ship and the recovery teams are already on standby to assist the astronauts when they exit the Dragon capsule, following which they will be taken to Houston for medical checkups and further evaluation. Astronauts often feel dizzy or disoriented upon return from microgravity conditions in space, so the 4 crew members are expected to remain under quarantine for at least 10 days. Allowing them time to acclimatize to the conditions on Earth. A historic mission concludes. Swipe left for next video. The 18DAY mission, India's first to the International Space Station, marks a significant milestone for the space agency, which is now aiming to undertake its own human spaceflight in 2027. It was also the first ever private spaceflight collaboration undertaken by ISRO with the U.S. space agency, Axiom Space, which also completed its 4th private spaceflight. Apart from Shukla, who was serving as the main pilot, the mission was led by former NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson, and 2 mission specialists from European Space Agency ESA project, astronaut S.A. Wozuznaski Wieniewski from Poland and Tibor Kapu of Hungary, also on their maiden visit to the ISS. The astronauts began their journey on June 25 aboard SpaceX Falcon 9, carrying nearly 60 experiments from across countries, including 7 from ISRO. Latest blogs.